In this video, I'm going to be laying out exactly how I would market a skater brand from zero to grow it into a community of superfan customers. I'll be laying out specific product and lifestyle focused content. And heck, even if you're not a skater brand, I promise you're going to leave with something that you can implement for your own content strategy after this video. By the way, if you're new around here, my name's Elijah, and in 2019, I made my first fashion film and absolutely fell in love. And since that moment, I've made many more films for brands such as Champion and Culture Kings, and even started my own company where we're helping clothing brands build communities. One of the ways we do that is through YouTube content right here. And so if this is at all interesting to you, please hit subscribe and stick around. But for now, let's get into naming this clothing brand. Now, even before we get to naming the brand, I like to start with the brand identity because it's going to help us later on come up with a name with meaning. That's just my approach, the way I like to do it. You don't have to do it like this. And so I imagine this skate brand to be a bit anti-establishment, not conforming to social norms, taking off creative limitation, quite artsy, rebellious. It's all about empowering the underdog or giving a voice to the outsider or the misfit. And I think what we can do here that's going to make it really easy when we get to creating content is break down what are the specific interests and lifestyle of someone in this community or this brand identity. And I'm thinking visual arts and crafts, poetry and literature, collecting vinyl records and CDs, disconnecting from your phone, or like having analog things like VHS or film cameras, even politics. And I think this is a person that has very borderline and very edgy and strong political views, but they also they value free speech. So using that brand identity is super easy to come up with a name, and I've been playing around with the word raze. By definition, raze, R-A-Z-E, means to destroy, like completely destroy something. So it's like this idea of rebellion, anti-establishment, destroying the system, kind of like not conforming, which is ironic because raise usually means to build something up. And raise, I don't know, it's just really easy to make a logo around. Speaking of that, we may as well, let's make a little design for a logo. I'm not a designer, but I'm thinking like something that's quite rigid, something that has like these kind of really hard lines. Everything's really straight. Let me try this again. Okay, I think where it overlaps here is that actually looks kind of nice. Where it like has the short R there. And then we can fit the Z in here. Or the Z if you're from America. I already see the comments. Yes, guys, I'm Aussie. Okay, this is looking pretty good actually. I want the E to kind of be a bit more rigid. Yeah, kind of like that. And what we could do as well is I think red would be a really nice color to, yeah, that's pretty nice. They're very hard colors, and I think that kind of goes along with the brand identity that we're trying to make here, especially for a skate brand. I think someone could be into this. Oh, this is a good liqueur. I like liqueur. That's really nice actually as a font. How about this for a tagline? Destruction is creation. Raise to raise. See what I did there? Raise to raise is good, right? How about raise the system? It's like destroy the system. Man, this is getting really edgy. But hey, look, it's a good message, I think. But hey, what if we put it on a t-shirt? Oh my goodness, guys. This is about to go crazy. Let's see if we would actually buy this. Bang. Raise. This is our tagline, raise the system. No, that doesn't look very... Oh, this is the back. This is the back for sure. Raise on the front, on the back. Raise the system. Oh, man. Tell me you wouldn't buy that. That's pretty cool. That's actually not that bad. I mean, for someone who's not a designer. Alright, now let's get into part 2, where we're looking at evergreen content creation. First, let's talk for a second about this concept of evergreen content creation. What actually is evergreen content? Well, you're going to have some content that's product focused, that is promotional, that's trying to sell your latest drop. But it's really important to have content that doesn't become old. It's stuff that is not focused on what product you're releasing in a particular season, but rather the message behind your brand as a whole. And for the brand that we're creating here, Raze, the evergreen content is going to be anything that's focused on the lifestyle of skating, that's focused on the message of anti-establishment, non-conforming, artistic, creative expression, share like free speech, sharing your opinions. This has absolutely nothing to do with fabric or with a clothing product that this brand might be selling. And so with that in mind, the first piece of content that I would create for this brand is a series called What's on Your Board. Now, I imagine this to be either a photo or a video series that is showing skaters and their boards. So let's talk about the practicality. How would I actually go about creating a piece of content like this as a new brand with very, very limited resources? Well, first, I would start with my own skating friends. But once I create those initial pieces of content, they're going to serve as a proof of concept or examples so that when I go and create it with other people that aren't in my direct circle, they understand what we're actually trying to get at. And so this is where I would even start walking up to strangers at my local skate park, maybe even with a POV camera, with a body mount, like some sort of camera attached to my body. And I would just be going up to people and asking them about their board, their design, what they like about it, who the artist is. And so I could create a whole carousel now that shows an image of the board. We could show video of the owner of the board skating. We could show close-ups of the design. And then even in the next frames, maybe I would include either video interviews with the owner of the board talking about the design itself, or information about the artist, the local artist behind the board. Finally, I'm thinking in the caption, you could even do a blog style interview questions with the owner of the skateboard about what got them into skating, how long they've been skating for, and maybe some specific questions to do with the brand identity, to do with what their message is for the world, or what they think, what their message is to their generation. The best part is, after all this, I could post it as a collaboration with this person that I'm doing it with. And it doesn't even matter if they have a big audience or not. The point is, my Instagram page is showing real people from the community, and then I'm connecting with my audience as a brand. So what's the cost? $0. Effort, fairly low. You can walk up to your local skate park if it's close by. There's probably going to be people there. You don't have to put much planning into this. It's fairly low effort. It's not going to take you lots of time to do this. You could create 5 pieces of content in just a couple of hours at the skate park. And what's the potential reward? I'm going to put $1 sign on this because it's not directly going to get you sales. However, it might in the longer term by bringing in an audience that will eventually buy your stuff. And so that's worth something. There's just a bit of a time delay on it. But since it's such low effort, $1 sign in terms of the potential reward, hey, I'm taking that any day of the week. All right, I've got 2 more lifestyle or evergreen pieces of content for you. Now let's move on to the second. The next lifestyle content series that I'm thinking of is one that I might call Skate Park Philosophy. And here's the concept. It would be an interview series with skaters from the skate park where they share their views on life, on skate culture, their personal ideologies in these short monologues. And with a piece of content like this, I'm really looking at hitting on some of the lifestyle points and demonstrating to my audience, who do I actually want in the community? To get those kinds of answers, here are a few of the questions that I might be asking skaters. First, what happens after we die? Or what's your message to your generation? Or what does it mean to truly be yourself? You'll notice that these questions don't really have much to do with skating, and so you're probably saying, Elijah, why, you're a skate brand. Why are you asking people about things that have absolutely nothing to do with skating? But this comes into diversifying beyond just like what most skate brands are doing, because I don't want to be another skate brand on top of the hundreds that are already out there that have been doing it longer and better than me. So I need to do something different, and the way that we're doing that is taking this anti-establishment kind of like raising the underdog stance. Okay, now how would I make it? I'm going to be using a more complex reach out method here than just going out to your local skate park and talking to strangers. First, I would find the Instagram page of a local skate shop. And the reason I would do a local skate shop is because it's going to be a gold mine for people that are skating in my area. Because what I can do with that is step 2, which is look through the followers of this local skate shop page and start reaching out to some of these people. Then number 4, I'm going to be asking to meet them at the local skate park. Then when we actually meet, I would film 2 main things. My number 1 focus is the A-roll. A-roll meaning the actual footage of them speaking and answering my questions. So I'd ask them the questions, I'd either set up on a tripod, or maybe I would just hold the camera there and film them, and then I'd ask them to talk straight into the camera. And then for step 6, I would film the B-roll, which is going to be them actually skating on their skateboard. It's going to be them in the skate park, doing things that are related to maybe what they're saying. And this is footage that I don't have to include the audio of, but I can add over the top while they're speaking. Finally, for step 7, I would upload the post as a collaboration post. Again, just like the previous piece of content. Cost, $0. Again, maybe a bit of confidence cost here, but you've got that. The effort here, I'm going to call it medium, because you've got some reach outs to do, you've got some organization with them. There's going to be a lot less effort for a lot more output of content. And the potential reward here, I'm going to put $2 signs on it. And the reason why is because the quality of the content is going to be a lot higher, because you're actually hand picking those that you're interviewing versus just approaching strangers like the previous piece of content. Yet to come in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how I would make a campaign and product focused content around this clothing brand that I really think would perform extremely well, especially in building my community. But even before that, we've got one more piece of lifestyle content. Now, this is my favorite of all of them. I think you're going to love this. It is one of those $3 sign kind of potential reward content. And hey, by the way, this is your personal invitation to join me in the Super Fan Club, the space for fashion entrepreneurs building clothing brand communities. We're going to teach you how to turn your customers into super fans. And there's 3 things that you get access to inside. First, there's a 5-part clothing brand community course. Then you'll get access to a network of hundreds of other brand owners, as well as a free one-on-one onboarding call. And the best part is that it costs $0. So what's the catch, you're asking? Well, here it is. Only 33% of applicants actually get in, because we are only looking for the most committed brand owners. So if you're game enough, click the link in the description below and apply now for free. I'll see you on the inside. All right, now for my favorite content series idea in all of this list. If I'm going to be doing any one alone, it's most definitely this one. I'm calling it the skate event content. Now here's the concept. I'm getting together and gathering a group of skaters in the Raise community, and we're going to be sharing tricks, making art. We're going to be talking about the state of the world and creating content. And we're meeting in the real world at a real skate park locally. Now let me show you how I would actually go about creating this event and turning it into real content that you can create consistently and cheaply and even sell your products. So here's how I do it. Step 1 is I would get together the core group of friends. I'm thinking of 3 to 5 people in my inner circle that I already skate with, that I know from the skate park, that even if I don't know them very well, that I could start building a deeper connection with. Now with those 3 to 5 friends, I'm moving on to step 2, which is picking a local inner city skate park. And the reason it would be inner city is because later on I'm going to be inviting more people from the community as it grows and we're going to want a more central place to meet. Step 3, once a week, we would go to the same place, to the same skate park at the same time. Step 4, I would give the core group of my 3 to 5 friends a simple garment that they can wear. And this could either be leftover stock, or it could even be exclusive club garments, exclusive merch or apparel that I only give to people in person or sell in person. It just depends on if you want to go the cheaper route. If you're really early on, maybe the leftover stock would work. Or if you're a bit further along or you're willing to invest a little bit more money, then the exclusive club garments are going to be really beneficial. But let's get into the point. What kind of content would you create and how would you go about doing it? Well, first of all, I would just be documenting and filming them skating. I would be filming the conversations. And so I'm now creating these videos which are a cross between skating and conversations about the things that my brand is concerned with. And as you post this content on your social media page, your audience will begin to grow and grow and grow because you're going to be getting better at it. You're going to be posting more of it. And so you can now invite the community on top of your 3 to 5 core team people. Step 7 is you just keep doing the event and creating content with these new people that come out. Step 8 is to sell your products in person. Again, this is why we put your products for free on your core group of people, because then when these other community members start coming, they'll notice, oh, where can I get this? And you can even provide exclusive garments. Say you can't buy this online. You can only buy this in person if you come to the event. Step 9, man, I'm having lots of fun with this. I would invite a local artist to come and paint and design people's boards and even blank garments. This is just a really fun thing that I want to do that kind of is a nod to the part of the lifestyle and the artsy skaters that we're bringing together. All right, let's break down the logistics. How much would this cost? I'm estimating about $120. And to break that down, that includes the products that you're giving for free to the core group of 3 to 5 friends. I'm estimating about $40 for them if you're using bulk order products at about $10 a product, and so you give away about 4 of them. Second would be the clothing rack. You could probably find one for cheap at about $20 at your local department store, and that's going to be good enough for everything you need. Finally is a Square card reader. You can buy one of these for about $60 on the Square website. The effort I'm rating as high. Yes, you will have to show up once a week for maybe an hour or 2, but think of it like a social event. Even though the effort is high, it's still going to be a really fun time. And the potential reward is easily $3 signs on this one. Not only are you going to create ridiculous amounts of content every single week, but also you're going to be able to sell your products in person, meet real customers, get real-time feedback, and all in all, the amount of output for the input is ridiculously high. All right, now we've been creating this evergreen content for some time. We've built an audience leading up to now where we actually create a full-on campaign and we're marketing these products on Instagram. How would we go about this? Look, this video is not about the product at all, but if we are talking about marketing, it's worth mentioning what kind of product we would be selling. And so how I would go about it is step 1, find a local artist in the skateboarding lifestyle. Number 2, even before creating the design, I would find out what their message to the world is. What makes them tick? What do they believe in as a person? What social causes do they support? And as an example, I'm going to imagine that we find a local artist that's really into disconnecting digitally and rather connecting with analog or with the real world. Number 3, I would make his message the theme of the designs. I'm really encouraging the designer here and the artist to lean into what makes them, because that's when they're gonna make their best work too. Number 4, after we create the design concept, I'm looking at taking it and implementing it into the actual process of how we make it. And so I'm thinking about how we make a product using manual artistic processes as opposed to digitally designing it. So I'm thinking incorporating spray paint or regular paint or arts and crafts. Number 5, I'm planning on releasing an ultra limited quantity. I'm thinking anywhere between 25 and 50 units, no more than that. And number 6, because of my brand identity and my focus on community building, I'm wanting to add elements of personalization to each and every single garment. And so I'm thinking about rips and tears that are customized with each piece, or maybe a hand signature by the artist, or maybe it's even having a handwritten number code about which number piece that is. So it could be 1 out of 25, 2 out of 25. All right, now we've got an understanding of the product. The first piece of content that I'm creating is a series called Behind the Design. And the concept behind this is a sit-down interview with the designer or the artist, intercut with B-roll of them sketching and screen printing and testing designs and painting. And it's going to be really about why they designed it the way they did, what was the inspiration behind it, and getting to know the person, the artist. And I'm thinking about asking questions like, what inspired the piece, or how does this piece or this design resonate with the Rays philosophy? What are some of the challenges that you had to overcome in the design process? And how do you personally resonate with the idea of disconnecting digitally? And these interview questions would, of course, be on top of talking through the major features of the product, the GSM, any kind of material information that might be necessary to know as a customer buying this. Not including the cost of the products themselves. I'm thinking the designer would be about $400. You could find a local designer or an artist who's willing to do it. And I think that's fairly generous for many people. Although you could probably wrap that up in the cost of the product development itself. And so the only other cost that there might be would be the materials the designer will use in ideating and coming up with the ideas in the first place. And so all in all, 400 plus 100, I'm thinking about $500 on top of the material costs of the product itself to create this video. Effort is medium. Yes, you have to go out in person, you got to film this stuff, but it could just be one video instead of a series, or you could get lots of little videos out of it, and so your output is greater, justifying the amount of time you'd have to spend to make it. Finally, the potential reward. I'm putting $3 signs on this. It's directly related to your product. You've already got these people committed to your brand, they're loyal, and you're really hitting it hard, bringing it home about why they should buy it. They're really buying into the message here. I think you're going to get people over the line in the checkout. And my final piece of content for this campaign will be the headpiece. It's the short film, the story, the thing that people share with everyone, the thing that gets people really hooked on the idea and the message behind this campaign. I'm going to call it Lost Signal, which is in line with this idea of disconnecting digitally. And when creating a short film, I'm using the 3-act structure, and it goes a little like this. Act 1 asks, who are the people in the film? What do they want? What context are they in? It's really the orientation. It's setting up where, when, who, what, how, and why. Act 2 is what's the problem? Why can't they get it? It's really developing the story by adding the conflict. It's putting the curve in the story arc. And then finally, Act 3 is some kind of resolution or the peak of conflict and how that comes down to a very nice, satisfying ending. And here is the Lost Signal short film. Act 1, there's a boy in a dark room using his phone, but all of a sudden his phone loses connection. He can't scroll on Instagram or message his friends anymore. He doesn't know what to do. And so with no other options and no sign of the connection coming back, he decides to go into the garage, pull out the skateboard, and ride down the road to see if he can find a connection somewhere outside. He's skating around, he's holding up his phone, and he can't seem to get it. And in skating, he stumbles upon the local skate park. And there are the local kids, boys his age. They're having fun. They're connecting, they're shaking hands, they're having deep conversations. They're trying new tricks. They're teaching each other. They're making videos. And no one's really using their phone. In fact, ironically, the only phones that you can see are analog and they're flip phones. And so this boy stops for a moment and looks from a distance. His arms hang and his phone's there at his side, and he realizes that's actually where he wants to be. And so he decides to slowly skate on over to the skate park. And that's the end of the film. Now, the real benefit of creating a short film is connection. We connect and resonate with stories like nothing else. It evokes something in me as an audience emotionally, and it means I can connect with your brand beyond just the products you're making. That's essential when you're building a community. Plus, shareability. I might not share an image of your product that's just a flat lay on the ground, although you should post that. But if you have this amazing story that really it's made me feel something, and I, as a customer or an audience member, have a friend that's also into skating, that we resonate and we connect over this idea of disconnecting digitally, I might share this film with them because I know that they're going to enjoy it. Now you've got another person that's a potential customer for your brand. So what's the cost of this? I'm estimating about $20 because you might have to pay for a sample that you're giving to an actor or model. The effort for this is high, because you do have to come up with a story, you do have to go out and film, and that takes some time, and there's a bit more effort to this because it's high production most of the time as well. But the potential for reward, I'm putting $3 signs on this, is directly related to your product. You're going to get lots of people in, and heck, it's just going to make for an awesome campaign. People are going to fall in love with your brand because of this. And that's all for the content that I would make to market this brand and turn it into a community of superfan customers. I challenge you to take these concepts of lifestyle and product focused content and apply it to your own brand identity. You can use the same steps that I have of, first of all, coming up with your brand identity, defining your lifestyle, picking a very specific person, and turning it into content that's focused on telling stories. And if you're a brand that wants to build a community of loyal customers in 2025, then I invite you to join the Super Fan Club. There's a link in the description. It's totally free, so apply now. I'm Elijah Delport. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you for the next one.